Hey there, and welcome to the sew along for the Percy boyfriend jeans. So we're going to go over the pieces that you need. All of this is outlined in your instruction booklet as well. So you're going to need 2 pieces for your front, 2 pieces for your back, your waistband, 4 pieces for your pocket bag, 2 for your yoke, 2 for your front pocket, your fly, 2 for your back pocket, your coin pocket, 2 for your pocket facing, and 1 for your fly extension. So go ahead and interface the pieces that are noted in the instruction box. You're going to be interfacing the top of your coin pocket, your fly and fly extension, and you can also interface the top of your back pockets as well. So we are going to the ironing board for the first step, and we're going to form the shapes of our coin pocket and our back pocket. So let's go to the ironing board. This is not a denim fabric, but it is very similar in function and weight to a denim fabric. And so this is going to give you very, very similar results. It's just a synthetic polyester fabric. So we're going to take your coin pocket and you're going to fold over about 1/2 inch and press. Give it a lot of steam. If you have a clapper, go ahead and use that as well. And then you're going to fold and press another 1/2 inch. On your coin pocket. Now it doesn't need to stay, but you want to make sure that you have very clear fold lines in here because we are going to stitch. And we're going to do the same on the top of the back pocket. You're going to fold down 1/2 inch and press. And if you're curious, this is an Oliso iron. I got it from Joann's. You don't need a super fancy iron. You just need an iron that can give you heat and steam. So don't feel pressured to go and buy a little fancy gadget. It's nice to have. It's a fun little tool to have, but absolutely not necessary for your success. You're going to fold down another 1/2 inch. And press. Woo! She hot. So we're going to take all of these pieces and we're going to top stitch this fold down in place. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to sew with the contrasting colored thread so you can see very clearly what I'm doing. This is why I chose this fabric. And I'm also going to be basting most of the time, but I want you to use your regular stitch length for your denim that you need to use. You also need to be using a denim needle, a thread for denim if you have it, or an all-purpose or polyester thread will work well. For your top stitching, if you want it to really pop, you can use the top stitching thread. And shorten your stitch length by just a little bit. So if your normal stitch length is a 2.5, then maybe you want to shorten your top stitching to a 2.0. So just keep those things in mind. It really helps give your jeans a real good pop. So what we're going to do now is I'm just refolding my fabric on one of my back pockets in the manner that I just pressed it, like this, and then I'm folding it over to the right side, and then I'm going to top stitch. So I'm top stitching I'm starting my first row of top stitching about 1/8 of an inch from the folded edge of my fabric. And you are going to back stitch. And if you're not too familiar with top stitching, go ahead and practice and go slowly because your top stitching will show and you don't want it to be winding like the yellow brick road. Like I'm getting off a little here myself. And then you're going to sew another line of top stitching parallel to what you just sewed, about a quarter of an inch away. So I wanted to show you a close-up. I got a little wonky there, and you can see where that stitching kind of floated up. You don't want your stitching to look like this. So if you get this result, go ahead and pick it out, because this can be seen from the right side of your jeans. You want it to look like this side over here. It's nice and even and nice and parallel. So don't do that, okay? Okay, so let's continue on. We're going to repeat the same thing on your other back pocket. Just fold in it in the exact same way that you just pressed it. So that looks pretty good. And then we're going to do our coin pocket. Same deal. Fold it over half, fold it over half. Top stitch. Okay, so we're going to go back to the ironing board, and then we're going to do some more pressing. Okay, so we're going to do a little more pressing now. So on your coin pocket, on the sides only, you want to fold over a ½ inch and press. Give it a lot of steam. Use your clapper if you have one. See, it looks a lot better. And then fold over the other side for ½ inch. And now you can set your coin pocket aside and grab your back pockets, and we're going to fold all the way around on this one. So ½ inch all the way around. So now that you've got these pockets pressed, you can set your back pockets aside, but we're going to go ahead and use your coin pocket. So let's go back to the sewing table. So grab your coin pocket and one of your front pockets, and with the wrong side of your coin pocket to the right side of your front pocket, you're going to align that coin pocket in the middle of the 2 notches that you have at the bottom of your front pocket. And then you're just going to baste them together. And also, it's noted in your instruction booklet, but this whole pattern is sewn with a ½ inch seam allowance. So you're just going to baste this together at the bottom. And now you're actually going to top stitch your coin pocket to your front pocket. So sewing through all layers, you're going to top stitch the same 2 rows. Every time I say we top stitch, you're always going to do 2 parallel rows. And remember that it's going to show, so take your time. So now you're going to grab one of your pocket bags and one of your pocket facings, and you're going to sew those right sides together. So it's going to look a little weird when you're matching it up, but it all lays out to be perfectly. So I would recommend, if you're not very good or very familiar with sewing around steep curves, to go ahead and pin. And the fabric is going to try to fight you, but that's okay. Just going to pin, and you're going to go slowly. So I like to pin in one little area, and then I pivot and match up the end. And that way I can ease in any extra fabric as I go, like this, to make sure that I have even distribution of my fabric. So when you finish, you're going to end up with your fabric looking about like this, kind of bent up. And what you can do, press your seam allowance first, and then go in and clip in the curve. Just clip close to your stitching, but don't clip your stitching. And it just releases. See, it's already, you see how it falls flat like that? That's what you want it to do. And I just do that for the curved area, and now you see it's hanging a lot better. It's a lot smoother there. So when you open it up, it lays nice and flat. This is what you want. If you find that it's not opening up this smoothly for you, just go in and clip some more in that curve. So just repeat this on the other side. Okay, grab the piece that you just made along with the corresponding front piece of your jeans, and you're going to stitch your facing together at the front of your jeans, right sides facing, like so. So go ahead and press and clip into the curve. If I had my small scissors, this would work a lot better. I don't know where they are right now. And then when you press that flat and clip into the curve, and then you can fold that over and it'll look like this, nice and pretty, and press that flat. So once you've pressed this flat, then we're going to go ahead and top stitch along this curved edge here. Okay, so we're going to repeat this on the other side with the other pocket bag and the other front piece. The next set of pieces we're working with are your remaining pocket bags and your front pocket pieces. So right sides together, we're going to attach those in the same manner as we attach the facing. Like so, matching your notches. So it's going to start off like this, and then we're just going to wrap around. So same thing happened before. We just need to snip into the curve. Press your seam allowance flat and then snip into the curve. And then it should look like that. And just repeat this on the other side. So now grab one of your front pieces and we're going to sew the pockets together. So you're going to flip the actual front of the pants out of the way. Right sides facing, you are going to lay this over, and we are only going to stitch the pocket bags together. So press your seam allowance towards the pocket bag on both sides. So we're stitching starting from this seam line down here, down, around, and back up to this seam line. So go ahead and grab your fly, and if you have a serger, you can finish this curved edge here, or you can also press and fold over twice and stitch to make a narrow hem. And grab your left front. Your left front should have the stitching guide drawn on where you transferred your markings. Mine's here in pink chalk. Not sure if it'll show up on camera, but I can see it. And so what you want to do is align the straight edge of your fly up against that seam and stitch. Now I've actually seen instructions, and I've actually done them like that as well for the Elaine pant, where you sew together the center front seam first on your pants and then you apply this fly, but I've actually found that I like it better to put the fly on first. So now that we've got that, I want you to grab your other front piece and we're going to sew the center crotch seam now. So what you're going to do is flip that fly out of the way and align the front pieces. Now your stitching is going to start right where the end of your stitching for your fly stops. So fold that fly up out of the way, and then we're going to stitch. So now flip over your jeans to the right side and we're going to put in our zipper. And if you have the Elaine pant or if you've watched this so long, that is the exact same way that we're going to do it here. So just grab your zipper. So you're going to align your zipper face down. You can open it if you'd like. It just may help make pinning a little easier. But you're going to align, when the zipper is face down, you're going to align the right side directly over the seam that you sewed to attach your fly. We're not going to stitch this side, but we're just going to position our zipper here so that it will be stitched in place properly. So now that you've got everything pinned, we're going to only sew the zipper tape that is on the left side. Okay, and now you can unpin that other side. And you should have the left side attached to your fly only. And when that flips back, it'll be nice and clean. And go ahead and give that a good press. Okay, so on the opposite side, you're going to press back a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And you're going to attach the other side of your zipper tape to that seam allowance. So you're going to press that 1/2 inch, just like this, and then lay that zipper tape over it, and then you're going to stitch it down through all of the layers. Okay, so you'll see that stitching from the front there. Grab your fly extensions, fold it together in half, wrong size facing, and then finish the raw edges with a serger or an overlock stitch on your sewing machine. Then you're going to stitch it together. So working on the right front of your pant, you're going to take your fly extension and you're going to align the seam allowance over the zipper tape in the back. So it's going to look like this from the front and like this from the back. And then I like to stitch from the top, and I like to use the same stitching line that I just used to attach the zipper, so that I only have one stitching line. And I just carefully retrace my steps. And then for the fly, we want to base that to the top to stop it from flapping around. Like that. And now we're going to top stitch on top of our line that we transferred on the front there. And so to stop your pockets from flopping around, you can baste this top part together to the front of your pants. Moving on to the back, want you to grab your 2 yoke pieces and you're going to stitch them together at the center back, right sides together. And go ahead and press that seam allowance flat. Then I want you to grab your back pocket pieces and the back of your jeans. And I've marked a line, just a few markings to let me know where my pocket's going to be placed. And I'm just going to place my pocket right where I marked and pin it in place. Making sure to keep those ends that we pressed earlier tucked under along the sides. Now once that's pinned in place, we're going to top stitch down through all layers. Okay. So grab your pants, your pant back pieces, and right sides together. We're going to stitch them together at the center back seam. So grab your yoke and matching up that center back seam, right side together. Make sure that your seam allowance is pressed to one side, to your right side when you're looking at the outside of the pants, your left side when you're looking at the inside of the pants. And then go ahead and stitch your yoke to the top of the back of your pants. So the first set of top stitching is going to be to the right of your center back seam. So you're going to stitch about 1/8 of an inch from the center back seam. And sorry, you're going to press your seam allowance up. For the yoke, you're going to press that up. And then you're going to top stitch, starting from 1/8 of an inch to the right of that seam. So grab the front of your pants and the back. You're going to match them up at the center seams. And just continue to pin and make sure that everything is in place. And go ahead and stitch. And then once you've finished that inseam, you're going to pin along the side seams and stitch. Before we attach our waistband, so grab your belt loop. You can do this step before or after you attach your waistband, but in this case, we're going to attach it before. So I want you to grab your waistband and then you're going to fold it into even thirds. So you're going to fold one edge to meet about 1/3 of the way, and then the other side like that. So we're going to fold it and press it. Now we're going to go back to the sewing machine. So take your belt loop and then you're going to top stitch just one row this time down the long edges. So I'm going to pin mine in place. If your fabric doesn't hold well, it may be a good idea to pin yours in place. So now you're going to top stitch down the length on both sides, just one row of stitching. So now you're going to fold your belt loop piece into about 5 even strips. It should be about 2 inches, 2¼ inches long, but just make sure that they're consistent and that you're going to cut those pieces to create 5 separate belt loops. So you're going to take your belt loop and attach one end. You're just going to baste it to the pants at the markings, and you're going to attach right sides facing. And you can just baste those together. So now that your belt loops are here and they're hanging, we're going to attach our waistband on top of them. So grab your waistband, should be interfaced, and you're going to press up 1/2 inch along one side of the waistband. So go ahead and do that. So right side together, you're going to attach your waistband to the top of your pants. The folded edge, the edge that you just pressed up, is going to be hanging. You're not going to attach that side. But I want you to hang over 1/2 inch over the edge of your center front and then start sewing or start pinning. So when you get to the right side of your pant, then your waistband will hang over 1/2 inch over your fly extension. Okay, you want to press that seam allowance flat to get it crisp, but then you're going to press it up. And so to close up your waistband, so you've got this folded edge here, you're going to bring that folded edge down to meet that seam line. And then you're going to stitch straight down here. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. That folded edge that you pressed up, you're going to bring it down like this and stitch here. Now I'm going to take your fabric scissors and trim that seam allowance down. And just snip the corner there, give yourself a little angle, and do that on both sides. Then when you fold it over, you should have a nice clean edge there, like this. in like this. So the next thing you're going to do is hand stitch. You can hand stitch your waistband seam allowance, slip stitch it to the inside of your pants. You can also just pin it very carefully, and then you can top stitch it from the outside because we're going to have to top stitch anyway. So it's up to you which method you like to do. Also, before you attach this waistband, if you have a label that you want to fix, go ahead and attach that to your waistband, to the folded side of your waistband that's going to face the inside of your pants before you attach it completely, and that way your stitching for your tag won't show on the outside of the jeans. So now you are going to top stitch all the way around your waistband, one stitch line. And now to finish attaching your belt loops, you're just going to fold over a 1/2 inch. You can also press and just top stitch it across. So you've got your belt loops on. The only thing you need to do now is sew your button and buttonhole on as marked and hem your jeans, and that's it, and you're done.